forged the unique culture with our late founder, Heather Moore. She continues to lead a vibrant business, passionately supporting all those across the Arbonne world. Donna is a board member of the ENVP Associated Network Marketing Professionals and our industry's biggest trade organization. She's also a regular keynote speaker in Eric Worre's GoPro events. Yeah. This experience with building a business and participating in the professions community has given her valuable wisdom and insight for what is necessary for building a strong, cohesive, sustainable Arbonne business. I need like a drink of water. She wrote Making a Living by Making a Difference and the foreword for Chris Widener's book, The Image. She was featured in Napoleon Hill's book, Oprah and Mother Teresa, and is featured in several books and publications. Donna is a Spirit of Arbonne recipient for her passionate commitment to the Spirit of Wings Kids charity, supporting several orphanages around the world. She's traveled the globe on all Arbonne incentive and training events. Donna says your family would become friends and our children become friends, and we have a strong bond that is the highlight of being part of Arbonne. Donna and her husband Thomas reside between Arizona, Wisconsin, and Sweden. Not bad, okay. Her most rewarding role is a mom of her 5 adult children and her 8 grandchildren. And she can talk about anything she wants to. Thank you. Hours on your beautiful highway system here in California. GPS told me 2.5 hours, and some of you saw me in the bathroom just a few minutes ago changing, so I'm so grateful to be here. I was actually up in Big Bear Lake Here's what I want to do before I start. I want to find out, because I missed an amazing day today. Is this what I heard, right? Who wants to just share, not a long training, but just an aha that you got that not only did you hear, but you're going to go back and implement. So I want 4 people to come on up, and as soon as there's 4 people, I want to hear from you. So come on up. If you've got something to share, I know you learned some things today, right? Come on. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Tell us your name, your title, and an aha that you got today that you're going to implement, because I want to hear it. So.
Okay. Perfect. When Donna shared about personal growth being that daily consistent, like going to the gym, when she said going to the gym, I was like, oh, we do that without even thinking about it, right? Because we have to stay healthy, especially if we work in health and wellness. But the same with personal growth. I find myself going to conferences or going to trainings, things like that, and getting like on a kick, and then having it kind of slowly fade away and just get busy and whatnot and make excuses. So I'm super excited to just diligently be putting this into that hour where I do my miracle morning. So thank you, Donna.
Awesome.
Hi. Teresa. I'm Teresa. Gosh, so many takeaways, but I think my biggest takeaway was just in that creating affirmations, because I've always said, I'm going to do it. And then I go home and I kind of fall off. But when I wrote mine today, I was like, wow, this is like the me that I don't allow myself to be, and what's going to happen when I allow myself. And now it's like, nope, every day I'm going to go home and I'm going to record my affirmations and listen to them every single day.
Hello, my name is Ashley Krause. Today is my start point. It's a fresh back to the basic. And Donna, thank you for inviting this meeting. My biggest takeaway is perfection leads to procrastination. And today is not a perfect day. This must be a perfect day. I'm looking for perfect, and no more. Just take action. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you.
You're shorter than me.
My name's Stephanie. I'm an executive area manager. And aside from the takeaways that were already mentioned today, because those were also all of mine, a big one for me was to literally leave my house. How lame is that? But as a mom of 3 young kids, we've been on summer break since May 4th. I tend to say, go in the playroom. Like I can't deal. And then we don't go anywhere because I'm on my last nerve and they're freaking rambunctious children. But that's not serving me. So I gotta, strap on my big girl panties and go outside.
Well, I heard a lot of hooting and hollering, and I heard a lot of tears going on here. So, but you know what? That's what it's all about, right? All the emotion of that. So, am I the finale? Okay. Christy, you are all so generous, and Christy bid on spending some time with us up in Green Bay at our lake home. Christy Card, where she is, I saw her back there. Oh, did she move? Oh, there she is. And we couldn't get it to work. And I said, well, is there anything else I can do to serve you? And she said, well, can you come and speak at our retreat? I'm like, okay, I can make that happen. So I want to thank Christy. And by the way, next year, after you promote to NVP, you'll still be able to come and stay with us at the lake, okay? Not just for the NVP corn roast and picnic and all that fun stuff, but afterwards. So you can go paddleboarding with me, okay? All right. So Christy and could you guys do me a favor? The co-hosts of this, will you guys stand, please? All the co-hosts, leaders that organize this with Christy. Christy's in my hand. Thank you so much. I know the work that goes into this, and I know you poured your heart into it, and you have been so organized too. I want to thank you for that. So congratulate them, because guess what, you guys, they don't have to do this, and they do it because they love you and they want to serve you and see you grow. So Christy asked, and the leaders asked if I would talk about vision and consistency versus constantly. So I really want you to take notes, because I'm going to cover some things that I think will help you be more disciplined in your business to be an entrepreneur, because I can see all the littles here. There's a lot of you that are moms, right? And parents, right? Raise your hand if you've got littles. I raised 5 kids now. I'm on 8 grandchildren. And oh gosh, I got to tell you this funny joke. I told it to Jonah, my 13-year-old grandson, when we were going to pick up some lunch yesterday, and he goes, Nana, can we just sneak in and get a donut? Of course, Nana's not going to get a donut, but I'm like, sure. I said, but don't tattle on me. I said, no, we don't want to keep any secrets from your mom. But then I said, I just heard this funny joke, and it's really not a joke because it's true. When you're a mother, you say to your kids, I made you a sandwich, now eat. When you're a grandmother, you say to your grandchildren, I made you a sandwich. Would you like me to cut it in hearts or stars? And when he got home with the donut, he showed Nicole, and then he told her that story, and she looked at me and she said, oh, brother. That's so true. So just wait. Any nanas out there, by the way? Right, yeah, Donna, you're a new nana. Woo-hoo, isn't that awesome? So I thought about this, and how many of you just finished the Richard Brooke boot camp, the 90 days? Stand up. Was it not just amazing? I know we missed the celebratory. I still can't say it. One of the takeaways that we got from that is this statement right here. Thank you so much. Was this statement right here. Oftentimes, people don't do, because, well, let's just get clear. When you start your Arbonne business, can we just be honest? I mean, do you start really operating in the black right away, right? I mean, even if you are making a little commission and income, there's money going back into your business, right? And this is what entrepreneurs do. And so a lot of people give up before payday, don't they? And they don't understand that entrepreneur hat. And what Richard said was that oftentimes people don't
keep going because they don't think it's worth it. They don't think it's worth it. Isn't that profound? So I can talk to you about vision today and working consistently and not constantly, but until you really, with all your heart and mind, believe, even if the people around you aren't, like maybe your spouse is saying, nice paycheck, you worked your butt off last month, and you know, what? You know, we can't pay the bills with this. So even if the people around you are not believing what you believe, you have to believe that it is worth it. And I actually trained on this on Go for Gold this morning. So you guys can go back and listen to that on SoundCloud. So here's what I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to cover this kind of in 3 parts today, because I think those of you that hear me train, especially on Go for Gold and things, I like to really break things down and keep it simple. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my story, and I didn't bring any Kleenex up here, but I did get a little choked up this morning on Go for Gold, so I'll try to just, you know, what did Reed always say, you know, tighten your butt, squeeze your butt. So I grew up in Wisconsin. Oh, I don't think I'm going to need it, but just in case. I grew up in Wisconsin, no college degree. I think a lot of you know my story. My father left my family when we were really young. And so I literally remember my 4 brothers and I sometimes having toast for dinner. Can anybody relate to that level? I did. And started working very young, to just even babysitting money at 13, just give it to my mom so she could put food on the table. I never got new clothes. That's one of the reasons I love going shopping now. I always got hand-me-downs from my cousin Mari. And the funny thing about that is we didn't have the same body shape. So that didn't work very well. Our vacations were camping, which I loved, camping in a tent. Never left the state of Wisconsin. And I remember after I started becoming successful in Arbonne, I promoted to RVP within 5 months. This was 31 years ago in Oh Dark 100 before computers, 1987. How many of you were not born yet? See? And now I have to back it up with the ICCS, the Independent Consultant Compensation Summary, because not everybody has this story, right? But I did earn RVP and the Mercedes within 5 months of building my business without any internet. Can you believe that? And I remember Petter Mork, our founder. How many of you had the chance to meet Petter? It's getting less and less as I train. Less and less people had the good fortune of meeting him. But Petter came to my car presentation in a snowstorm in Wisconsin. And my 4 brothers looked at me and they said, whatever you do, don't get all hoity-toity on us. All right, who does not know that word, hoity-toity? I told that to my husband, Thomas, who's a Swede, and he goes, what is that? So one of the things that we do laugh about, my brothers, is they agree that I didn't get all hoity-toity on them. Except for they think I have really crazy taste in purses. Like my brother says, wait a second, how much did you pay for that purse? I could have bought a car, maybe an old beater car. So recently someone posted a survey on Facebook and it absolutely blew me away. In fact, I did need Kleenex when I saw it because she listed about 100 destinations around the world. Really incredible destinations like Cape Town, South Africa, and Dubai, and Bora Bora, and Scotland, and, all these incredible places. And as I was checking it off, I realized that I have been to almost every place on that checklist. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, how does this happen? How does this happen? And it happens because we are in the best profession ever, the best compensation ever, Arbonne. I mean, can you imagine this business, this profession? If you don't believe that, if you don't have that kind of faith, you need to get it, because that's the kind of faith you're going to need to really build it strong, okay? Because it does take time. And if anyone tells you that, it's not a get rich quick, right? If it was a get rich quick, we'd be giving out white bicycles instead of white Mercedes.
There was one destination, though, on my bucket list that I've never been to, and I really want to go. So I want to organize something so a bunch of us can go. But I want to go to Israel. Has anyone been to Israel? Oh my gosh! Who wants to go with me? Let's go. So, okay, but this training is not about me. I'm just showing you that the path has been taken. It's been paved. In fact, it's not just been the machete. It's been a super highway, because look at the social proof of all the incredible people who have succeeded, right? Now, I know on our ICCS, our independent consultant compensation summary, and by the way, everyone should have that laminated and carry with you everywhere you go, every presentation you do. Right, Ashley? Where's Ashley Krause? Don't I preach that? Oh yeah, Ashley, you are our compliance person, but Ashley knows this is something. Ashley's a part of my Central Nation. Okay, but this is something we preach. Always have your ICCS with you, so that everything that you show, you can share. That we have an independent consultant compensation summary that shows the average for our whole company. Now, you might get a little freaked out every once in a while when you see on there that a vast majority of people don't make any money, right? But you know what? That is totally up to them, because they became an independent consultant and they get to decide. Just getting a starter kit does not make you successful. You have to go out and do something with it. So there's a lot of people who are not unhappy. They love our product and business, and maybe they had intentions or whatever. But I just wanted to just make sure that you understand that, so that it makes you feel good about this opportunity. But the path has been taken. It is possible. And it's not just for the people who got in early. I have people say to me, oh, you're a top income earner because you got in early. Well, my ID number is 4014. There were 4,013 people who got into Arbonne before me, okay? So if it really was that concept of where you got in early, wouldn't they all, have promoted, right? But that's not how it works, because it's the I word. It's all about being independent. So you have to believe it with all your heart. Our top 100 income earners, did you know that a really good percentage of our top income earners never even met Petter, didn't come in the very beginning. So what does that tell you about our opportunity and the opportunity that each and every one of you have? So this is about you, and do you believe, do you believe it's worth it? And I really want you to think about that and write that down really big in your notes. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to me? And I really want you to ponder that with your family. Is it worth it? Okay? Because that is a really big question that only you can answer deep, deep, deep down in your heart. Because I can promise you, if you're having trouble answering that question, you might be struggling in your business right now. Okay? So, when you hear my Saturday Go for Gold, what do I always open it with? Where in the world is Donna? So I just got back from Big Bear Lake. You guys know where that is, between Palm Springs and Los Angeles, somewhere. It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I got there Thursday night in the dark. And so when I came down the mountain today, I got to see how beautiful it is up there, all the boulders and everything. Just absolutely beautiful. It was my daughter Nicole's birthday yesterday, and I was actually going to be flying to Phoenix. I launched a new business builder on Thursday morning, and I was going to celebrate her birthday with her yesterday. And she said, oh gosh, Mom, we've been wanting to get out of 115-degree weather, and Kwame got a couple days off, and you might be flying in, but we're not going to be here. I said, well, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to be? And I told her I was going to be here. Could we go someplace? They wanted to go someplace cool. So we found Big Bear. And just like that, I was able to change my tickets, and they drove, I flew. But to have the ability to just make those kind of choices, I never, ever take that for granted.
And I'm always so grateful for that. How many of you would love to have that kind of a stress-free financial life? You guys, it is worth it. I'm telling you right now, I worked my tail off, I still do, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And you have to ask yourself that as well. So I'm going to break this down into 3 parts today. Get clear on your vision. Get clear on your game plan, your strategy, your business plan, because you're a business owner, okay? You're not a wage income. You're an asset income builder. You don't have a boss. How many of you just need to responsor yourself today, right? You need to do that every single day. So get clear on your vision, get clear on your game plan, which also includes your pace of play. You guys, if your pace of play is not consistent with your goals, something has to change, doesn't it? And the third one is get clear on your schedule. And this can be a tough one, especially for moms, can it? But I'm going to help you own that, because you guys, I've been there and done that. And a lot of you who've heard my story, I have 5 adult children and 8 grandchildren. My adult children are all college educated, some of them graduate school and beyond. And they have all said that the best education they ever got was watching mom build a business from home. Okay? You guys, who needed to hear that? All right? Because there's so much darn mommy guilt out there. We got to stop that. Stop the mommy guilt. Wish they would have told me that when it was happening. It would have made it easier. But you know what? Hindsight is 20/20. Let my hindsight be your foresight. I can tell you that your children are going to thank you, because what are some of the things they experience? They experience building relationships with people, communicating. They experience rejection. They experience saying you're going to do something and then not procrastinating and following through doing it. And all those things. So I'm going to tackle those 3 things: vision, game plan, and schedule. And how much time do I have? Oh, do I have 45 more minutes? No. Yeah, I do? Okay, well, I can cover a lot of ground. All right. So, part 1, get clear on your vision. And I challenge you to responsor yourself. Hold on. How many of you are familiar with this book? Okay, if you don't have it, get it, and make sure you get the yellow cover, because it's the latest edition. It's called Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. Mach 2, M-A-C-H 2, the number 2, with your hair on fire. The Art of Vision and Self-Motivation, Richard Bliss Brooke. I was actually introduced to Richard's vision training, vision work, when my twins were 3 years old. And I was living in Wisconsin at the time, and I flew to Scottsdale to attend Richard Brooke's vision workshop. He'd just been featured on the cover of Success magazine, and I just was hungry. I wanted to learn. And I learned these concepts about vision really, really early in my career, and I'm so grateful, and I love to teach it and share it with other people, and I'm so thrilled so many of you got a chance to experience that in the boot camp. So order that if you haven't gotten it. But here's the concept that is in the book, and I have found to be true as well for myself and other people. The world does not step aside and give you what you want, okay? If that were true, everybody in Arbonne that signed up would have a white Mercedes and a great check, right? So the world does not give you what you want. You get what you believe is inevitable for you. All right, does anyone have goosebumps now? You get what you believe is inevitable for you, and that is your vision. Okay, so we're going to do a little exercise here, and I'll just give you a little glimpse of the book, and then you can get it and do this. You can do this with your group, your team. We're going to do it in Green Bay in a couple of weeks. So what I want you to do is pick a date. So I'm going to pick it for you so that we're all matching on the same wavelength, okay? So it's May of 2019, and we were all at GTC. You guys know it's in May next year, right? Okay. And I want you all to close your eyes right now and picture yourself there. And I want to ask you, what is your position? And you guys, we get too tied up on a title in this company. It really is about the business that you've developed and grown. And, we slide back and forth all the time. If you have slid up and down and all around in your business, will you raise your hand? Because we all have, right? So, where are you in your business? What does your paycheck look like? How many people from your team are there? What's happening in your life? Maybe that you're starting to build that new home, or you're paying off some debt, or what's happening in your life? How many of you can open your eyes now? How many of you, when I asked you to do that, you had to really think about it, and you kind of had to, gosh, what would I like by then? And it was a little fuzzy. Raise your hand, because that's just truth. Okay, that's so normal. And what we need to do is be so clear on where we're going to be, that if somebody just right out and said, Ruth, where are you going to be May of 2019? You just answer right away instead of, well, I don't know, we're hoping to maybe go into qual soon. Okay, that doesn't cut it. Your vision has to be so clear. And what you're going to learn in this book is that you're going to have one of three visions. And the first one is a positive vision. So if the picture that you saw of yourself in May of 2019 at GTC was better than your life today, how many of you saw better than your life today? Good. That is a positive vision. And you will create the enthusiasm and the motivation and the work ethic and the discipline and the commitment. You will create all of that because you believe it's inevitable for you that you're going to be there in May of 2019. So you're going to be on fire. Thus the topic, Mach 2 with your hair on fire. So motivation comes from enthusiasm about believing where you're going to be in the future. Isn't that cool? It's as simple as that. If you don't see any change between today and May of 2019, that is a neutral vision. And that's what we call a rut rider. You're kind of stuck in a rut. And when there's no contrast between today and the future, there's no enthusiasm to do anything about changing your situation and growing. How many of you have people around you in your life that have a neutral vision? They're totally comfortable. I'm surrounded by a lot of family and friends in Wisconsin that have very neutral visions. Okay, they think they have a great life, a great job, and in a year from now, that's just what they're going to be. Same kind of a neutral vision, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's no motivation to change where you are to where you want to be. That's why when we sponsor people, we ask them questions like, if you were to create success with this, there are no guarantees. What would that look like for you? What would your life look like? That's why we ask them to start dreaming, right? And then nobody goes around and says, oh, well, I have a negative vision. I see my situation worse a year from now than today, right? No one's going to raise their hand, right? No, but that is that's called a negative vision. And because there's a contrast between where you are and where you'll be in the future, which is a negative contrast, you will actually sabotage yourself. Did you know that? So a lot of really, really, really good stuff here. So I challenge you to get this and master it to the point where you can actually teach it. All right, moving on. When you have that kind of enthusiasm and positive vision, you will be on fire and you will be absolutely unstoppable. Do you remember a time in your business, or maybe it's happening right now in your business, where you've just had that fire and you've been unstoppable, or maybe you're watching people around you that are having that? guess what? We don't have to wait for that to happen because we're entrepreneurs. We can create that right away. We can respond to ourselves every day, get clear on our vision, make our plan of action, our game plan. That's one of the things that I love about this business is that we get to create it. So you don't have to wonder, gee, I wonder if my boss gets transferred, maybe I could get a promotion. Your career is based on someone else when actually with Arbonne, you get to decide that. So part 2 is get clear on your game plan. And how many of you heard my June 30th Go for Gold about the virtual circle of success? Okay, if you didn't hear that, go back to SoundCloud and listen because it really will help you understand how important it is. Did you guys cover virtual business at all today? Okay, because we're always going to have in-person appointments, but you have to tap into the virtual part of this business as well. And so I actually talk about the virtual circle of success, and I explain the difference. And I've gotten lots of private messages from people like, oh my gosh, this made so much sense. I finally get it. I explain the difference between a system, a reach out method, and a tool, because they're all different. And then you have in-person appointments and you have virtual appointments. Now, how many of you are getting dizzy me just talking about that? But don't resist it. You need to understand how important it is. Let me just give you an example. How many times do you see on Facebook someone will say, hey, does anybody know of a DA in Erie, Pennsylvania? Okay, do you think Peyton, how do you say her name? Schreiber, because it used to be Maud. Do you think Peyton goes and posts? Does anyone have a does anybody have a DA in Erie, Pennsylvania? No, because we're doing virtual opportunities. And so sometimes we have to let go of things that we are so used to and start embracing something new. And I cover that in that Go for Gold. And I explain the difference between a system, a reach out method, and a tool. So get clear on your game plan. If you know where you want to be by GTC of 2019, what's happening? You're good. Okay. You're so cute. Okay. Now I know your password. All right. How many of you seriously have a game plan? This is really hard, I think, sometimes, because in business, everyone has a business plan. You guys are in business. You need a business plan. You need a game plan. So if I were to ask you, okay, Ruth, you're going to be, let's see, because I think I know your goals better because I've been coaching with you. You're going to be an MVP by May of 2019. Doing it, and it's inactivity. If they're not actively working in their business, which what I mean by working isn't just attending a meeting. Working means that they're doing their daily asks, they're getting in front of people every week to tell the story about this business and product, right? Just take a look. This might be a fit for you, it might not be, but take a look. They're actively engaged. Now, doesn't mean we're going to pick apart what pace they're in, because some are walkers, some are joggers, some are runners, right? But if they're actively getting in front and creating new business, that's your bubble chart. That's your bubble chart. And if somebody is not actively engaged, you can pretty much count on a certain amount of volume. How many if you want to grow and promote to the next level, you can't just rely on that piece of the business, right? You need people getting in front of new people. So having a clear plan of action and a game plan and a business plan. So if you feel like after you're taking notes today that you don't have that clear plan of action, just take some time and create that. So let's talk now about getting clear on your schedule, because I think, especially as women, this is one thing that we really struggle with. But if this has been you, try to create new self-talk. So I know that Dr. Shad Helmstetter has taught us this, hasn't he? And Keith Kochner talks a lot about, everyone talks about it, what you say, you talk to yourself. And so if you go around saying, oh, I'm just so busy and kind of disorganized. Well, guess what? That's just going to manifest in your life. And so start using new terminology. Like, I used to do that, but now I'm getting better and better every day. And here are some tips that I can give you that has helped me. Work in time blocks, okay? And a lot of people were really blown away by Mary Beth Relier's Go for Gold on July 7th about how you can build this business in 12 hours a week if it's true revenue producing activities. Some people don't think it's worth it, getting back to that title, because they think they have to work 40, 50, they think they have to work constantly instead of consistently. And she mapped it out that if you are really focused in doing revenue producing activity, doing the calls, doing the follow-up, doing the presenting, both in person and virtually, using all the different reach out methods. Some of you maybe have a more primary reach out method. Some of you use, more of a variety, which I think is a good thing. You can literally build this business in 12 to 15 hours per week. Does that sound worth it to you? If you could build a region, but you have to work it smart. You have to be specific, focused. You need to tell your family, hey, mom's working. I'm taking a 3-hour time block and I'm going to work. Now, how many of you struggle with this? Because their friends, parents, when they go to work, a lot of them are getting in the car and they're going to a building somewhere. Right? And you kind of feel guilty because you're home and you're telling your kids that you're going to work. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. What you can do is you can turn it around and say, isn't it cool that mom gets to build a business from home? But with that, I need your help because now I'm going to be doing this. Okay. And I know that you've heard me train a lot on it is your job as a parent to raise amazing adults, not to do everything for your kids. So my kids all did their laundry starting 12 years old, starting to cook, all these things. In fact, Jonah, your job is to raise amazing adults, not to do everything for your kids. Side note. Anyone needed to hear that? Is that going to free you up to build a nation? Some of you. You can tell them, well, Donna Johnson told us, 12 years old. I should probably get her on a Go for Gold. Yes, she did it a long time ago, and I don't know if it's part of SoundCloud, but have a different marker for all the different events in your life. So, your Arbonne business, make sure that's a green marker for money, and then all the kids have different colors. And but you know what? It's okay. You'll be able to make most of them, but not all of them. I remember my twins are 24, and they were both, they played volleyball on a national level. They toured all over. They were really good. And okay, I think, do we have time for a funny story? I think we have time for a funny story. One of the things that Petter told me
raise half the money for, and it took them all summer. But I made my kids pay for half their college. And if they earned an academic or sports scholarship, that went towards their half. And none of my children came out of college in debt because they worked and they all got academic or sports scholarships.
Isn't that cool? Okay. There's a 11-year age difference between my 3 older children and my twins. And my older children remember the struggle. They remember the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They remember the old beater car before I got my white Mercedes that used to break down all the time. And they would say to me, Mom, the twins are spoiled, because they don't remember any of that. So they get a volleyball scholarship at Colorado College, right? And they come home and they go, we're just so burnt out from volleyball and we're not going to take it. All right, how many of you have kids that are doing all the touring and you pay almost as much as the college? Right? And I said, oh, sucks for you. And they said, what? I said, well, you have to pay for half your college. And they said, oh, well, we thought that was just for the older kids. No, that's you too. And they looked at each other and they're like, holy cow, what do we do? 2 weeks later, they get half academic scholarship at NAU, and they went to Northern Arizona University and didn't have to pay for school. So don't worry, guys. These things, they will not die. Okay, the kids will survive, and it's really, really good lesson. It was a lesson that Pat Mark taught me, and I implemented it early when I was raising them. And so how many needed to hear that? Okay. All right. Here's another tip. Working in time blocks, color coding, like Val Edwards teaches. And don't apologize if you can't make everything. When my twins were seniors in high school, they told me that it was the final volleyball game. And they told me that night after the game that one of their friends on the team said, you are so lucky you've got such a cool mom. And they're like, she's not that cool. What do you mean? And they're like, she has a life. Like, she comes to almost all your games, but she doesn't come to all your games, And my mom is like having a nervous breakdown because I'm graduating this year and I've been her whole life. And I never thought about this, you guys. And MVP Christy Aldrich shared that with me. She said, I remember you telling that story about the twins. And she said, when my youngest son graduated, I started meeting these moms that their entire life was wrapped around their children. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying that your children are not your priority. They are your priority, right? That's not what I'm saying. But they need to see you have a life. It puts too much pressure on them, okay? How many needed to hear that? Okay. All right, next tip. I am a fierce to-do list maker, okay? Early on, my husband and I have been together almost 8 years, and early on, he said to me, I totally get why you're so successful. He goes, you drive me nuts. You make a list, and you do it. Like, you just do it. You say, no, I can't do that. I have to get this done, okay? So how many of you are list makers? And how many of you do it? That's good. That's what you need. You just do it. So, okay, so here's the most important part. The revenue producing activities, making the calls, doing the do, that is your non-negotiables. Those go first. And then towards the bottom are the things that you could delegate. Maybe one of the kids wants to make dinner tonight. Maybe your husband wants to make dinner. Something you can delegate, you can delay, you can dump, just say no. How many of you say yes to things that don't serve you, your family, your business? Or just do it. So if you're a night owl, do your to-do list at night. Now, some people do theirs virtually. I'm still a paper and pencil girl, so whatever you like to do. If you're an early bird, do it first thing in the morning. But do your to-do list, and doesn't it feel good when you get things done and you're so efficient and it makes you feel good? So when you go back to SoundCloud to listen to the June 30th Go for Gold, you're going to hear the challenge I gave everybody for 9, 6, or 3. How many of you know the 9, 6, 3 challenge? Yeah. So
When I was in Amsterdam speaking at the direct selling European Congress, I learned that the number one ping, now do you guys know what a ping is? Ping is any way that you reach out, an email, a phone call, a text, a private message, that's a ping, okay? The number one ping for people responding to you is audio messenger. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that either. It's on your phone, and you just hold, it's a little bit different. I've got an Android, but you hold down the microphone and you talk, and when you're done, you lift it up and boom. And it's faster because you don't have to type. It's better because they hear your voice, they hear your warmth, okay, your inflection, and it's really, really efficient. So I gave a 963 challenge, and I'm going to give this challenge to you, and I still want you to listen to the Go for Gold, okay? So if you're a walker, your audio messengers, it will take you 3 minutes, because I try to keep my messages under a minute because they stop after a minute. And then you just have to do another one. How many of you have gotten multiple? I know, Christy, you've gotten multiple ones from me. So if you're a walker, you're going to do 3, and it's going to be 1 to a new prospect. Okay. Always keep your name list current. How many of you have a name list? Always keep it current. You're meeting people all the time. I was just at the Bear Lake, Big Bear, and I added 2 names to my list of people that I met and struck up a conversation. Okay. I added them to my list. I'm going to audio message them. So the one is reaching out to someone new to take a look. All right. The second one is going to be someone in your pipeline that you want to follow up with, because they don't all join right away, do they? Many people need multiple exposures, and never make them wrong. Never say anything like, "Oh, Ruth, I never heard back from you after I sent you that video." You don't want to say that. You want to say, it goes like this. "Hey, Ruth, it's Donna, just following up. I'm so sorry I didn't get back with you sooner. I wanted to check to see what you thought of that video I sent you. I really want to get together and have you take a look. Let me know your schedule." Okay? Never make them wrong. And then the third one is a team member. So 1 new prospect, 1 prospect you're following up with, and 1 team member that you want to encourage, maybe remind them of their goals, remind them of an upcoming event, give them a challenge, whatever. If you're a walker, you're going to do 6. 2 prospects, 2 follow-up. What did I say? I'm sorry. If you're a jogger, see, I was just seeing if you're paying attention. If you're a jogger in your business, you do 6, 2, 2, 2. If you're a runner, you do 9, 3, 3, 3. And I do the 9. It takes me literally 15 minutes a day. It's so easy and fun, okay? And it's challenging too, to find the 9 that you're gonna reach out to. How many of you feel like you've kind of slacked off a little this summer? Okay, you might need to do a sprint. Okay, how many of you run and do interval training? I hate this. I mean, I'm a runner. I don't like to run. Thomas has a t-shirt that says "Running sucks." It's true. I was doing a coaching call one time with one of my area managers, and I had just come in from a run, and I was kind of huffing and puffing, and she said, "Oh, you're so lucky that you like to run." And I went, I hate running. I do it because it's good for my heart, and I want to be around for my grandchildren, you know. But I hate doing it. But one of the best ways to run is intervals. So what we do is we'll do a jog, and then we'll break out into a minute or 2 sprint. I hate it. I hate it. Does anyone love it? I want to know. I hate it. You do? Oh, man. I got to watch my self-talk, right? I love this. How many of you feel like you maybe need to do a sprint in your business? If you've kind of laxed a little bit this summer, here's a challenge I'm going to give you today. In the next couple of days, do 30 audio messages. 30. 10, 10, 10. Holy cow, right? That's a lot. My stepson, Max, in Sweden is 17 years old. Last summer, he took a job at a restaurant on the water across the street from us, washing dishes. It was a wage income. He got so much per hour for washing dishes, and he hated it. It's one of the best things that your kids can do, so they realize how much it costs to buy those jeans he wants, right? This summer, he decided to do telemarketing because he decided he wanted asset income. He wanted, sales commission income. And do you know, for the month of July, he was number one and he made $5,000. He has to make 400 to 500 calls a day. And he loves it. Because he gets yelled at, hang up, and he's so excited if he gets 1, 2, or 3. Like, that's like an awesome day. And I was home. We live in Sweden in May and June, and I was home. Thomas was out. Max comes home from work. I said, how'd it go? And he's like, oh, I didn't get any yeses today. And I said, how many calls did you make? And he knew exactly, 524. And he goes, I'm going to go down and study the calls of the people who got, more numbers. He was so motivated. I told him, I wonder if you're going to finish school because you are definitely going to be doing sales. Yeah. So, but how do you take your notes? And granted, we're not telemarketers, so we don't have to do 400 to 500 calls. But how many of you were a little blown away when I said 30? Sometimes you need to do that little sprint just to get back in the game. So next, I'm going to just talk a little bit about tracking your numbers. Do you know your ratios? So if you get in front of 10 people a week, do you know how many people convert into a consultant or preferred client or a host or getting a referral? You're going to get some no's, right? So that's going to affect your ratios. But do you know your ratios? This is really important to track as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Know your ratios and then track your numbers. So here's what I'm going to have you do. I want you to, and you don't have to do it right now, it probably will take you a few minutes. Just go back into your back office when you get home and take August of 17, and go through July of 2018. So you've got a 12-month snapshot, and go back and track each month. How many people did you personally sponsor, and how many did your team sponsor, and how much did you sell, and how much did your team sell? And do that every single month so you've got a total. All right, some people don't want to do this because they don't want to look, right? But you need to. No shame, no stories. That's my motto. No shame, no stories. But here's what you need to do. Take a look back, and if that activity level does not match your goals and dreams. Now, who's with me? This is a Jerry moment. Jerry Rosenthal, what does he teach? If there's a contrast between your activity and results and your goals and dreams, it's the other way around, right? You have to do one of two things. You either need to shrink your goals and dreams, or you need to raise your activity. Is that true? Because you're going to be so conflicted otherwise. If there's that contrast between your results and what you want, you're a mind game mess, right? You with me? So every time I ask that to someone, would you prefer to lower your dreams and goals or raise your activity? I've never had one person say to me, and I say, be honest, because some people do. They need to adjust their goals and dreams. I've not had one person say to me, yeah, I want to lower my dreams and goals. They all want to increase their activity, and they want to know how. Show me how. And you guys, it's all about connecting with people. It's all about your vision and what you believe is inevitable for you, and that enthusiasm that comes from it. So check your ratios, track your numbers, and then ask yourself, what do you want to change, your activity or your goals? So finally, how many of you do audio messaging consistently? Okay, if you don't know how to do it, just ask someone to help you. That's honestly what I needed to do, was to ask someone to help me. And now I'm an audio messenger fiend. It's the most efficient way of communicating. When you are clear and efficient, you can get more done, and you will have more focus and more efficiency. Executive National Vice President Diane Partee was my neighbor when we lived in Appleton, Wisconsin many years ago. And then I moved to Arizona, and she and her husband moved to, and their 3 boys moved to the Pacific Northwest. And she was an area manager at the time, and they bought a new home. His job, he got transferred, he got a nice raise. And so they actually had a house with a little home office, okay? And he said, Diane, if you're going to do this little Arbonne thing, I think you really need to do it big, because I think you'd be great at it. And you're just kind of playing around right now. And okay, I teased Dave about this, but he says, I'll give you Tuesday and Thursday nights. I'll be with the boys Tuesday and Thursday nights, but you go out and you just build that little Arbonne thing. Well, she went on to build a region, build a nation, build an executive nation. And he's pretty humbled by that schedule. But something as simple as that, I think she's in our top 100 income earners too. Just something as simple as that time blocking, that schedule, take Tuesdays and Thursdays, whatever the time block is for you in your little, I call them the little time blocks during the day. And I'm really disciplined. Even when we were at Big Bear yesterday, I just told the kids, hey, I need to take an hour. I've got a few things to do. I'll be right back. And then I just did some things I had to do. And you don't have to apologize. Don't do it. If you apologize and diminish your career, everyone around you is going to diminish your career. So you have to stand tall and own it. And do not fall into this trap. I have seen too many people do this. And I bet if you are honest with yourself, you might be doing it. Don't fall into the trap of, but I'm not there yet. That I'm not there yet. I don't know if people will take me seriously because I'm just a district manager. Or I had someone tap my shoulder one time at GTC and say, Donna Johnson, could you give me some advice? I'm a struggling area manager. And I said, stop calling yourself a struggling area manager. Don't fall into the trap. Ask as if, because we all started there. We don't get into Arbonne and are automatically a regional vice president. We all had a journey. We all had a horrible paycheck. My first check was $17. We all have that. So act as if. Don't fall into that trap, but I'm not there. Talk about your vision. Talk about where you're going. If you're making $500 a month right now, act as if that you're earning $5,000. Don't spend it yet, though. If you're earning $5,000 a month, act as if you're earning $50,000 a month. Okay? So don't fall into that trap. It is definitely worth it. When it feels like nothing is happening, everything is happening, it's worth it. When that person that you sponsor that says they're going to be an RVP in 6 months, all of a sudden falls off the face of the earth and doesn't return any of your pings, it's worth it. Keep going. Keep going. It's worth it. Okay, this is the part that choked me up. So now that I told you it choked me up, I'm not going to choke up. At our log cabin home in Wisconsin, our master bedroom, if you can picture this, our master bedroom is on the 2nd floor, and it's eye level with the birds, some eagle's nest, the evergreen trees, the lake, okay, the songbirds. And I just absolutely love it. I hate air conditioning. I love to sleep with the window open. It is worth it. One day, you're going to wake up to the sound of songbirds coming into your room instead of an alarm clock. And you smile at your husband and you say, let's go out on the paddleboard. Look, the water is like glass. Let's go find the eagles. When you get back in, one of your best friends sends you a message. Hey, we're getting married in Hawaii in November. We're going to have a really small wedding, but we want you two there. And you look at your husband and you say, let's go. The next message is from your son, and his caretaker for their 2-year-old is sick. And you call him and say, bring Coral by us. Tell her we're going to go out on the paddleboard and see how many dragonflies can land on our toes. I was actually Skyping with her yesterday when they were calling to wish Nicole happy birthday. And she saw me walk by and she goes, Nana, dragonflies on our toes. The next message is from a longtime business builder that put her business on the back burner when she was almost an RVP. She won the She's Got the Look modeling contest. It was do you guys remember there was a reality show a few years ago? And she actually won it. And she got distracted with a big contract and a tour. But this business is about building relationships. So you've stayed in touch, always keeping the door open. Fast forward, and her son is the #1 draft pick for the Chicago Bulls this past draft, and signs a rare rookie deal with Nike. Now she's ready to build her dream team. Your heart skips a beat as you visualize her car presentation and all the excitement of helping her reach her goals. And that's Tanya Hutchinson, who's I'm going up on Monday to relaunch her. She's a beautiful Black woman. She dated Michael Jordan in college. She's gorgeous. And she has always kept Arbonne on the back burner, and she always said to her family, someday, someday. So when it's Chandler Hutchinson, you might have seen him in the news. When Chandler signed his deal, guess what he got? The loaded what's the, you guys know the Mercedes. Yes, he got the white Mercedes loaded. And then we were teasing him because we said, okay, now we got to help your mom get that. So as you can imagine, see, I made it, no tears, almost. The dragonflies almost did it. This all just happened to me recently. Those things. In fact, some of them all happened on the same day. Do you think it's worth it? We didn't have to look at each other and say, oh, can we afford to go to Hawaii for that wedding? We just said, hey, let's go, let's do it. We didn't have to, when Joe called and said, oh, shoot, I don't know what to do with Coral and I really got get this job done. Well, let's meet halfway, bring her out. Okay. Those are the things we get to do. It's all worth it. So this weekend, I want you to pull out a journal, pull out some paper, and write down all the reasons. What do they say? I've heard someone trade in Arbonne 20, how many reasons? 24? How many? 21 reasons? How about doing more? Just get your family involved. Write down all the reasons it's worth it for you. Get clear on your vision. Make sure your pace of play matches your dreams and desires. And that kind of went back to the Jerry thing, right? Raise your activity. Make sure that your pace of play matches your dreams and desires, because if it doesn't, you're going to have a lot of discontent and conflict inside of you. Make sure that your pace of play matches your dreams and desire. I said that 3 times now, didn't I? Do you got it? Should we all say it? Make sure your pace of play matches your dreams and desires. You got it. So is this something you're going to take with you when you leave? Okay. And your vision of your future self. Make sure that's clear. Your vision of your future self. Pick up that Mach 2 book. So when you do this work, I recommend you do it with your circle, your loved one, your significant other, your spouse. Even your kids need to get involved. They can just be totally amazing. How many of you have kids that encourage you, right? I see it all the time. You guys are posting about it on Facebook. I think that's such a beautiful thing because they're in training. It's a rolling university. When you're listening to training and motivation and reading books and things like that all catches on with them. Did you ever hear Pitbull's story? We shared the stage last year with Pitbull and Tony Robbins, and he grew up real poor in Miami. His dad was a drug dealer, but his mom was trying to make it right by cleaning houses, and she listened to Tony Robbins. in the car, and he was a kid in the back seat. And he said, "Mom, can you turn to the music?" And she said, "Did you pay for this car?" So he grew up listening to Tony Robbins, and it defined him in his career. If you ever listen, look, okay, you want to hear the funny story? The year before, when they announced that Pitbull was going to be the training, I looked at Thomas and I said, "Who's Pitbull?" You guys, the young ones are getting to me. But if you listen to his lyrics, there's a lot of motivation in his lyrics. And now he and Tony Robbins are best of friends, and he trains with him. So all the things that you do, get your family involved, get your kids involved, and share it with your family, because sometimes they need a reminder of your vision. But who needs the most reminder? You. Tell yourself your vision each day, because guess what? It is worth it. You are worth it. Thank you so much.